The film begins on Earth 828 at Fantastic Four headquarters, where Richard is seen searching for something. Unexpectedly, Susan gives good news, because she is pregnant. Richard was very happy because after 2 years of wrestling, they finally managed to get a baby. But Richard is worried that if their baby happens to be exposed to cosmic radiation. The Ted Gilbert Show tells the story of Fantastic Four, starting from a family of researchers, namely Richard and his wife Susan Storm, Ben and Johnny Storm. They prepare to explore space. All plans and preparations are carefully made, but all goes bad when the planes enter a cosmic radiation storm that alters their DNA, and because of that, their bodies react differently, turning them into human beings with superpowers that can be used to fight evil and save the world from the bastard who just keep popping up out of nowhere trying to destroy the city without even getting paid. They tirelessly continue to fight to bring peace to humanity because it is a responsibility that superhumans must accept. And hey dog, who is that? In that fight, they managed to defeat and capture the villain Ballman, who lived underground while trying to steal the Panem building, as well as the crazy Finger villain who sabotaged New York City, even defeated the Red Ghost and forced Super Aids to bathe in the sea. Because of that, Susan was chosen to be the leader and managed to unite the entire nation under one organization called the Future Foundation. Back in the present, their headquarters has Harvey, an intelligent robot who can cook everything for dinner, and Ben is impressed by the cuisine that tastes like stone. At dinner, Ben and Johnny find out that Susan is pregnant, and they prepare to become uncles. Finally, everyone found out that Susan was pregnant. The news quickly spread to the public, and everyone thought whether this baby would have superpowers. That day, Rid gets a signal from outer space that is very complex. Then he shows a teleportation machine research, and they use the egg as an experimental object. It turned out that the machine required enormous electrical power and Johnny had to be a candle, while Ben went to the streets to meet Citizen, also entertained some children in the playground by lifting the car. The school teacher, named Rachel, is grateful to Ben for entertaining the children. And according to Ben, it doesn't matter because he once lived in this area. Later that night, at Fantastic Four headquarters, Rid explains having found 47 villains, such as Puppet Master, Wizard, and Diablo in Washington Heights. He told the police to arrest them. A sudden explosion in the sky made the night bright. It turned out that there appeared a Silver Surfer extraterrestrial creature. They immediately chased the creature until it finally stopped in the middle of New York City. It turns out that the purpose of Silver Surfer came to Earth to tell everyone if the planet Earth is targeted to be destroyed and will be eaten by a Devourer named Galactus. According to Silver Surfer, there is nothing that can be done to stop it because Galactus represents a universal force called Sanctuary for the Stars.
After that, Silver Surfer immediately left, and Johnny tried to catch up to space. Unfortunately, Johnny's strength could not be used in space without oxygen, and Silver Surfer set about something then flying and leaving quickly. Knowing that they soon find out what really happened, and Rid confirms the truth about Galactus, that there are already 5 missing planets in the Proxima Delphi galaxy. Rid also tracks down the whereabouts of the Silver Surfer, identified with the Energy Herald, who originated on planet DA-773 and is currently with Galactus. Knowing this is a real threat, they plan to go to planet DA-773. Johnny tries to listen to a recording of an extraterrestrial transmission signal recorded by Rid, which turns out to be the same received language as the language spoken by the Silver Surfer. Rid prepares a new costume for outer space that is resistant to the heat of the fire and has plenty of oxygen to support the power of the fire. After that, they convince everyone that they will return to space in the face of real danger to find Galactus, and Sue will be the first pregnant woman to explore outer space. This mission will face dangers that threaten this home, family, and Earth. So they immediately board an Excelsior rocket, including Harvey, to go into space to protect the entire population of the Earth. They all went into outer space to see everyone carrying good wishes and positive prayers for the best results. Once in space, they are joined by an FTL space station that is faster than the speed of light. After joining forces, Ben immediately takes the plane through the wormhole to the location of planet DA-773. Their main goal is to analyze the physiology, observe, assess the ability, and collect samples from Galactus. And if Galactus is a liar, big man, then they can beat him. Finally, they arrive at the planet DA-773, which is like nothing dangerous. Suddenly, they see a crack from the planet's core and something very large hollowing out from the inside that destroys the planet in an instant. They decide to approach the separation from the FTL station and try to avoid the large object while the planet completely disappears. Then they are attracted by the red light coming from a large object like the force of gravity. The red ray scans the ship and stops at the baby in Susan's stomach. Silver Surfer arrives, approaches, and easily penetrates the plane to tell Galactus that he wants to meet him and that they should not have come. The massive object that destroyed the planet turned out to be Galactus' spaceship, and Harvey quickly wandered off to retrieve the samples. Silver Surfer takes them to meet Galactus and explains that Galactus eats planets. Johnny tries to catch up to find out what Silver Surfer said earlier, and she explains that it means to die with what you have. Finally, they saw firsthand a very large and terrifying cosmic entity, Galactus. Galactus had discovered that they came from a very distant star. Here, Rid tries to negotiate Galactus not to target planet Earth. Hearing this, Galactus agrees not to eat the Earth if they hand over Sue's baby. This makes Sue and Rid very surprised, and Galactus explains that the baby has the curse of the throne and inherited a cosmic power so great that it can satisfy Galactus' hunger. Unexpectedly, Galactus approaches, and suddenly Sue wants to give birth, while Rid vows never to give the baby or the Earth to Galactus. This infuriated Galactus, so Johnny and Ben try to buy time by attacking Galactus so Rid and Susan can get out of there. But it was not easy because Galactus and Silver Surfer chasing them. Lucky Susan can still fight with the remaining strength. Quickly, they had to escape and managed to arrive on the plane to immediately get away from this terrible place, although still pursued by Silver Surfer. They tried to join the station FTL before the Silver Lady got Sue. And fortunately, they managed to timely leave using a wormhole. But it turns out that Silver Surfer is still trying to catch up by following them into the wormhole, while Sue, while holding back pain, asks Johnny to finish off Silver Surfer, who wants to kidnap his nephew. So Joni immediately sat in front of the screen of the Ace Combat console to shoot at female surfers. Unfortunately, Silver Surfer was too dodgy and broke every shot from Joni. Realizing this, Rid changes the trajectory of the wormhole to the largest neutron in the universe, a black hole that has brutal gravity sucking whatever is there to lure Silver Surfer to the black hole. This is risky, they fishing Silver Surfer closer to the black hole, even though they know it will be exposed to time dilation for 1 month.
This automatically makes Sue's pregnant age increase by 1 month and can't hold it anymore, so they will give birth in space. Since there isn't enough orange juice to get home, Ben uses a trick slingshot from a black hole around the star to lower the orbital momentum to the speed of light so they can return to Earth. While Rid tries to calm down, if all goes well, Harvey takes Ben's place in the wheelhouse to help with the delivery that took place in the wormhole. And finally, the baby was born in space, assisted by a happy nurse stone. Now, their family members increased by 1, a handsome little baby named Franklin Richard. Earthlings in many countries are very enthusiastic about welcoming the Fantastic Four with joy because they have returned after a long journey, and they are also happy to see Sue, who has given birth to a baby boy. Rid, who has not had time to eat, immediately holds a press conference and explains that they cannot defeat Galactus because when negotiating, Galactus wants a high price with their son and cannot possibly agree to the offer. And when one of the journalists questioned whether the Earth was safe,
I don't know.
It turns out that the Silver Lady, who was supposed to be in the city park, is still alive. She apologizes to Galactus for failing to abduct the cosmic baby. Galactus insisted on getting the baby because the baby had infinite cosmic powers that could eliminate hunger. At their headquarters, they try to find a way to defeat Galactus, which seems impossible to defeat because they do not have a plan or technology that can be used to defeat Galactus beyond reason, although Harvey has taken samples from there that took many years to understand the composition of Galactus's life. According to Archimedes' law, they need a connecting lever to save the Earth, and Ben takes Franklin to find it. After that, Johnny explained to Sue that the language used by the Silver Surfer is the same as the recording of space signals. He will translate for easy understanding and build an algorithm used to communicate with the Silver Surfer, while Rid tries to find out if Franklin is storing something as desired by Galactus. At the same time, Galactus' ship has entered the solar system and passed Jupiter, causing chaos in every country due to the news that Galactus will soon destroy the Earth. They demand that Fantastic Four hand Franklin over to Galactus, and this is the only solution. This makes Sue very angry by damaging the used TV for $5. Everyone was demonstrating outside the Fantastic Four headquarters. They argue because Rid thinks Franklin is the price to pay for saving the Earth. Of course, Sue refuses because she knows Rid is more concerned with the family, and Rid promises to resolve and find a solution to this problem without sacrificing their baby. Outside the headquarters, conditions were chaotic, and Sue walked among the protesters, holding Franklin in her arms. She tells the story of a family past full of suffering, where she and Johnny lost a mother in an accident. She does not want to lose anyone and convinces the entire population that they will fight together to save the world without giving up Franklin and will defeat Galactus no matter what. Rid unexpectedly gets the idea to save the Earth by using a teleportation device that has previously managed to move the eggs. He will move the Earth Galactus couldn't find them.
Rid presented the plan to the whole world. They will create a bridge that will connect to the whole continent and will take the Earth teleported to a new, very distant solar system within a 2% margin of the human habitable zone. As the leader of the Future Foundation, Sue speaks to all heads of state that they require basic materials such as plutonium-239 in large quantities to build giant connecting bridges. Another problem with teleportation machines is that they require a lot of electricity, so they shut off all the electricity on Earth for the next 20 hours in order to save it. Even Ben can't shave his beard. And hey, since when does Rock have beard? That night, Rid talks to Franklin, not wanting Franklin to be superhuman. He wants his son to be a normal human. But if Franklin does have cosmic powers, then show them now. And Franklin shows up with super piss. Meanwhile, Johnny tries to translate the language the Silver Girls are using. After spending a lot of time, Johnny finally managed to understand the language of Silver Surfer. Then, after all the preparations have been completed, now they connect all the bridges around the world so that they can immediately teleport to Earth before Galactus attacks. Suddenly, Silver Surfer arrived on Earth, destroyed the entire bridge on Earth, so that the plan and hard work that had been done failed miserably. Johnny tries to catch up with Silver Surfer and provokes by giving a slight attack to chase and lure to a place where Johnny activates voice transmission using language that had previously been understood to belong to Silver Surfer. The girl is confused how humans can understand the language. Also, when Johnny calls the real name of the Silver Surfer, Shalabel, Johnny can use the language used by Shalabel from 23 previous transmissions and learn it. It turns out that the past Shalabel was a scientist and astronomer who came from the planet Zenla. When Galactus came, she gave herself to Galactus as a scout so as not to eat the planet Zenla. Johnny is trying to make Shalabel feel guilty by playing screaming sounds creatures from the planets Galactus bears Proxima Delphi Sagus Polaris that have been eaten by Galactus. Johnny only wants to save the Earth, but according to Shalabel, he and his family must leave Earth immediately because Galactus cannot be stopped. Realizing this, they will still not leave the Earth because everyone will be victims. Then Rid has an idea to make Galactus go away from the planet and then lure Galactus to Times Square, which means instead of teleporting Earth, and better teleport Galactus to a very far place. Because there is still one more bridge left precisely in New York, and this is the only way to defeat Galactus. To lure Galactus there, Rid would use Franklin as bait. Having no choice, they risk Franklin's life to save the Earth.
They make a special basket to protect Franklin, and they have to lure Galactus to cross the line and enter the teleportation zone. Of course, it will endanger people's lives. Sue asks Harvey, aka Mall Man, to help evacuate the entire citizens of New York City underground. Everyone began to be evacuated into the place that Mall Man had built under land called Subterranean. After that, they put Franklin in the middle of the teleportation bridge. So Galactus descends from the destroyer into New York City, creating havoc there, while everyone in Subterranea begins to panic about it. Galactus initially wanted to eat the soil from New York City, but failed because he forgot to bring salt and soy sauce. Then used the power to find Franklin's whereabouts and immediately went to that location. When Galactus is at the location of the trap, they immediately attack by blinding Galactus for a moment and quickly replacing Franklin using an empty basket. While Johnny immediately takes Franklin back to the Fantastic Four headquarters. They prepared and waited for Galactus, who walked towards the teleportation bridge, but when going into the trap, Galactus realized that Franklin had moved to another place, so Galactus failed to enter the trap. The project is fail, and they must be able to prevent Galactus from approaching Fantastic Base. Johnny attempts to set the giant on fire, while Ben throws the car, which only itches, and Galactus, annoyed, then throws Ben all the way out of space. Sue, who tried to divert and then thrown like a mosquito. Rid tries to chase and climb up the body and injures Galactus back, ending up being a rubber toy. Let's play and pull, dude! Luckily, Johnny and Ben slid out of the sky and hit Galactus, making Rid like a twig grasshopper, and they all fell to Earth. Galactus did not want to waste time immediately approaching and getting Franklin. At the sight of it, Susan couldn't let her son be carried by Galactus, so she used her full strength, pushing continuously towards the teleportation bridge. Sue no longer cared about him. She asks them to save Franklin no matter what happens, and somehow this time Susan is very overpowered. Johnny immediately activates the portal, and Rid manages to save Franklin while Sue uses her remaining strength to push Galactus inside the portal. They thought they had succeeded, but it turned out that Galactus was trying to get out of the portal. Seeing this, Johnny plans to sacrifice himself to get Galactus back into the portal. Unexpectedly, Shalabal kicks Johnny, and sacrificing himself took Galactus away from there, and the portal was closed. They immediately check Sue's condition, which looks motionless. Unfortunately, Sue is really not breathing, even though Rid has repeatedly tried to help, and they have to accept the fact that Sue has died. All hearts are broken. There's nothing they can do to save Sue. To make a final farewell, Rid places Franklin over Sue's body. Unexpectedly, Sue moves back to shock them, and Sue manages to come back to life. It turns out that the handsome and cute little monsters have mysterious powers, and now, finally, they all manage to survive. Everyone in the world is very happy because the Fantastic Four have kept their promise to save the Earth. When they are invited to perform on the Ted Gilbert Show that is watched by millions of people, suddenly they get a call of duty, and Ted Gilbert and everyone in the studio only see the podium. There, Rid, Ben, and Johnny had a hard time taking care of Franklin's baby basket. Once successful, they immediately go into action to protect and bring peace to Earth. Whether this is Fantastic Four or Fantastic Five in the next sequel, let's just wait. I am Fox, and thanks for watching.